In the ICU room that I was in, every single other patient passed away.
Wow.
I was pregnant with my second daughter. They call my husband and they're like, hey, I think she's gonna die.
I don't think there's a single day where it got better. There's nothing like to say, all you do is pray.
I think thousands of people were praying for you.
I remember my family praying for you, and now hearing that you started a supplement company, I'm just like, wow.
Yeah.
Angela Primachenko is the founder of Honor, a wellness company built around nature's first food, colostrum. Working with her brother Max, she's proving that even in a world of shortcuts, purity still wins.
How it started was we got this cow and she's gonna have colostrum. And I'm like, man, I wanna keep this colostrum for me and my family.
Actually, it's crazy how well it works. I knew right away that we have to have a subscription model.
In this episode, we'll explore whether her family savings will be enough to make this business work.
I'll be super straight, open, transparent with you guys. The bad news, well, I'll give you, there's good news as well.
You're the first woman we've ever had on the podcast.
I think a lot of women try to do business as a man. I don't consider myself a boss babe. I couldn't have done it without my husband. I couldn't have done it without Max.
But behind the business is the real story that nearly ended in loss. Did you believe or think that your sister was gonna die?
Like every day. It's a bigger chance than the day before that she doesn't wake up.
What's up, guys? Quick break over here. 80% of you guys listening are not subscribers. The more subscribers we get, the bigger and better we can make the show.
And if you've been getting value from Matchbox, please hit that subscribe button below. For you, it's just a click. For us, it means a lot.
Thanks for watching, guys.
So Max and Angela, welcome to Matchbox.
Thank
Thank you for having us. Feels good
Awesome
be
to
here.
have you. I'd love to hear your story, your personal story, your life story. We know that you gave birth during COVID and you were in coma, right?
Let's start there. That's actually, when I saw your name come up that you're going to be a guest, I was like, dude, I remember my family praying for you when you're unconscious. And then after that, I know you wrote a book. And now hearing that you started a supplement company, I'm just like, wow, this is really cool.
Yeah. So in 2020, I was pregnant with my second daughter. So I had a 10-month-old, and I was 32 weeks pregnant with my second daughter. And then I got sick. This was like the first round of COVID that was like really bad. And I got it really bad. I started getting sicker and sicker. And at that point, I was already 33 weeks pregnant because I was at the hospital. So for a total of 21 days, that was like the whole journey.
Wow.
But halfway through, I remember just getting so sick. Like looking at the clock, I'm like, I literally cannot breathe. I got the COVID. I got pneumonia on top of that. I started having heart damage. Obviously, I'm pregnant. And they're like, hey, you cannot continue doing this. We have to put you in a coma. I'm a respiratory therapist as well at that hospital that I'm sick at. So I know all my doctors. I know everything. I'm looking at them and I'm literally telling them, like, can you please intubate me? I cannot do this. Wow. It was so hard. No one can visit me. I'm all by myself. I remember just calling my husband and just being like, babe, this is so hard. Like, and I can't even talk at that point. And he's just listening to me. So then I get in the coma and I start getting worse, and they're like, hey, we're going to go ahead and take the baby out. So the idea is, obviously, when you're pregnant, it takes up a lot of space, and my lungs get squished. And so the idea is, hey, if we can get the baby out, the lungs can do better, and then she'll be able to do better. So they call my husband. They're like, hey, we're going to, induce labor. So sure enough, I give birth, but instead of getting better, I get worse. And so it gets really bad, and this is when the whole nation starts praying. I literally just God's grace over my life, my baby's life. So she was 33 weeks old, weeks old when she was born on April 1st. And she was intubated too. I actually have a video. So I'm giving birth, and they literally, they're all gowned up in the yellow gowns. Everyone's double masked. Everyone's, COVID cautious. Obviously, I'm positive. They take her out. I'm left there still intubated, obviously. So instead of getting better, I get worse. They call my husband and they're like, hey, I think she's going to die. So we just want to let you know, it's really unlikely that she's going to survive. In the ICU room that I was in, every single other patient passed away.
Wow.
So it was just really intense.
But so were you still unconscious at this point?
Still
You were
unconscious.
unconscious on a ventilator.
Yep.
These are just conversations that the doctors and nurses are having with your family.
Yes.
Yeah, basically, she
Well,
doesn't
Max,
know this
yeah,
yet, but
he has an insider scoop.
yeah, like basically she got to the hospital, it's getting pretty bad, and then we find out that she has to get intubated, and like literally every single day, I don't think there's a single day where it got better. Every day was just literally just like worse. Oh, her blood's looking worse. This is looking worse, and it's like constantly every day, even after the giving birth too. So it's just like we're just getting together as a family every day, and just eventually there's nothing like to say. All you do is pray and like ask everyone else to pray. But yeah, that was definitely rough.
So the baby, your daughter, was okay.
She was okay. So the only reason why she was
in ICU.
intubated, the reason why she was intubated is because all of the medication that they gave me was what was affecting her. And so that was actually like a whole nother mom guilt after that. I'm like, oh, it's all my fault. Yeah, there's just so much that I had, like the journey after. But I had heart damage too during that time because just all that stress. But yeah, so my baby gets born. She's healthy. They extubate her after a few days. She's just in the NICU just because she's little. She's only 3 pounds. She was 4 pounds when I took her home. So she was just little.
Max, if I can just ask you a really raw question. In that moment, if you can just take me back, did you really, like, did you believe or think that your sister was going to die in that hospital?
And I don't want to get emotional, but yeah, there's like every day you're like going to sleep, and it's a bigger chance than the day before that she doesn't wake up.
Yeah, that's real.
Well, God is merciful.
God is so merciful. I know. I actually remember thinking, like, when can I talk about this story and not make it emotional? But the reality is like it could be a really good story, and it could still, like, the emotions are still going to be there because it was real. This was like my life.
I wanted to ask. So you had a C-section? You actually gave birth?
Yep.
Wow.
Okay.
I know that's normally
Hold
that's normally the biggest question.
While being in coma?
Yep.
Because
Yeah.
I was told it's a C-section. It's not.
No, I had a standard birth.
Standard birth. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So every day you're getting worse and worse.
Yeah.
What's the turning point? What happened?
Honestly, just God's miracle. So I was 9 days total intubated. So day 8, they're calling David, and they tried to extubate me, but they failed. So as a respiratory therapist, I've seen this obviously on the other side of it. Sometimes we think a patient's ready, we'll pull out the tube, and then they'll decline really rapidly. So then we have to reinsert the tube again. So they attempted that. They tried to take the tube out. Hopefully I would do well, but I wasn't doing well. And so then they had to reintubate me. And they called David. They're like, hey, she's not gonna make it. And literally the next day, they're like, hey, she's extubated. She's doing well. Like, we can't explain this. And this was right around Easter, which is wild. Every year, Easter is always like a resurrection story for me too. But yeah, so it was literally wild.
Second birthday.
Yeah. God just honestly miraculously saved my life. I looked through my numbers, and I'm like, man, not only did God save me, he saved my daughter. We're both fully healthy. I don't have any side effects. My lungs are healthy. I did a pulmonary function test, which is basically you sit there, you blow into this machine, and it basically tests how well your lungs are. My lungs are like exceptional, everything, just like a full miracle in every single way. And so, yeah, it's definitely God's grace.
And after that, you wrote a book.
I did.
Wow.
Yeah, so that was actually the easiest part of going through my hardship. The hard part was actually recovery. Recovery was so hard, especially when everyone's like, you're such a miracle, you're doing so good. And you're like, so good? Like, I have a 10-month-old, I have a preemie, the whole world is shut down. I went through so much just emotional turmoil that I decided, I was like, I want to write a book. Maybe not everyone can relate to giving birth in a coma, but people can relate to hardship, and people can relate to hard moments defining the fears. And I realized I had so many fears that were crippling me after that kind of experience in life. And so I actually partnered up with a friend of mine who's a therapist, and we just basically talked about questions and things that I started believing that literally crippled me. Like, one of the things is I started avoiding hardship. I thought hardship was bad because I went through something so hard. And so I'm like, I never want to go through hardship again. And so I would do everything in my power to like make life easy. And that was my goal. And like that crippled me. I stopped taking chances. I just lived in fear. And so I wrote this book. I mean, it's been such a blessing to just be able to help people that maybe are also going through something hard in life, and give them just like, there's just questions like, hey, like, what do you think about this? What do you believe about God about this? Because sometimes hard moments define how you think about God. And then that sucks, because then now your whole life is not the way it should be, you know? So, so that was the goal in
So
writing
this
the
book
book.
is about your life, your experience, and also overcoming hardships.
Yeah. So it's basically, there's questions, and then there's like writing. It's like almost like a workbook where
Okay.
you can like write through it and like kind of go through the chapters, and
And
each chapter
the
is a
name of
different
the
focus.
book?
It's called Breath of Life.
Breath of life.
Yeah, which is actually the name of my daughter, the meaning of my daughter's name. Ava, her name means breath of life, which is
Beautiful.
cool. I know.
Did you have that name picked out before or after?
No, so I really liked Ava, but my husband didn't. He wasn't like set on it. And so I remember like waking up from the coma, and I'm looking around. I'm obviously not pregnant. I'm still super like, what happened? And I see a picture, and it said baby girl Ava, and I'm just remember, I mean, I'm so hazed. I'm like, Ava, what? Like, what is happening? Baby girl, like what?
You're still
I
not
didn't-
sure. That
Yeah, I was like,
you
did I
still
give
think you're
birth?
pregnant?
Yeah, like this is just, you
Wow.
don't expect to go into coma pregnant and out of it not pregnant. And so, so my husband named her Ava, and we didn't even talk about the middle name, but he gave her the middle name Angela, which I'm like, oh, that's sweet. Like, had I died, she would have had my middle name. But yeah, it was wild.
What's so bizarre and interesting about your story is you're telling it from a first perspective when you didn't, you experienced it, but not consciously.
Yeah.
And there's just something so fascinating about that something happened to you that you weren't conscious of in the moment, but now you're retelling the story from other people's perspective on you. I feel like there's just a lot of situations in life that can kind of apply to you where perhaps you don't understand that something is actually happening to you, maybe in a spiritual perspective, but you bear the effects of it.
Yeah.
So
No, I think thousands of people are praying for you,
Yeah.
and it's a miracle worth mentioning, worth talking
100%.
about. Yeah. What about you, Max? Just introduce yourself. A couple minutes.
I'm Max. I kind of helped Angela with this business by getting into like the marketing side. But before that, when I was younger, kind of trying to figuring out what I want to do with my life, I kind of did a little bit of everything. Definitely a bunch of construction. I'm a Slavic guy, so you definitely try a bunch of construction.
Work with your hands.
Oh yeah. My dad. Well,
good.
we have a huge family. I'm the youngest of 10,
Okay.
and so my dad he worked maintenance, and he always built everything. Like he had to build his house in Russia when he was like 16 for his mom. So like he always did stuff with his hands, and in turn that means the sons have to learn how to do everything, which I'm like super, super thankful for. So grew up, try to figure out kind of what I wanted to do with my life. Tried a bunch of construction, went to Running Start, did college for a couple of years, thought I was going to go into engineering. It came easy, like the school side of it, but I just like thought about doing the actual work of it like an engineer, and that was just, I was like, there's 0% chance I'm doing that. That's definitely not for me. And so, I was just kind of trying to figure out what I wanted to do with my life. I have every single thing I tried. Like, I tried to do some stuff in construction, didn't really work out. I tried doing welding. My brother's a welder, so I joined the apprenticeship for that. That was horrible. That was probably the most depressed I ever was. I went on like one job. It was crazy. It was like a 2-week job, and it's just night shift in the middle of the winter out by the coast, and you're a welder.
Ships.
No, this was like a factory. It's like basically like a nuclear power plant. And so you have to, as a new person, you're put on like a legal position where you can't do anything. You're on fire watch. That's the position called. You're not allowed to touch a single tool. You're not allowed to do anything. You just sit there and make sure the wet metal building doesn't catch on fire when they're like welding or cutting. And so for me, that drove me insane, because like I love working with my hands. I love doing stuff, but here I legally can't do anything.
Oh my God.
And every guy that I'm surrounded with is like 50, 60-year-old, like depressed man that has no relationship with his kids, telling me how his life sucks.
gosh.
And you don't see the sun for 2 weeks because you're doing night shift in the winter. And I was like, wow. I literally, at that moment, I was like, there's nothing that made me more passionate to not do this and like find what I want to actually do with my life than that moment. Because I was literally just sitting there. I'm like, man, if I have to do this for a year, I actually will go insane. There's no way I could do this. So I quit that. Literally after that job, I was like, okay, I quit. And so I was like praying. I was like, man, God, what what do I do? Like, I like doing video. I started serving at my church doing video. And so I did that for a bit, but everything I tried there kind of didn't work at all. Like, I tried to make my own way, like try to do weddings. I hated that. I tried to do a bunch of stuff and it just didn't work. And eventually I just had 2 opportunities kind of given to me literally within like a week. And one of them was to like move out to LA, and the other one was kind of stay local in the video sphere specifically. And so I took the local one, and yeah, it was sweet. It was actually, yeah, it was Vima Media, and I learned so much by being there. It was like an entry-level position. You're kind of just editing, filming, doing a bunch of stuff, but I learned a bunch, learned kind of what I want to do. That company kind of shut down, and from there I just went freelance, and yeah, I was freelance for a bit, which was really good. Got to meet amazing people, do some amazing jobs, and then eventually I got an offer to work at a supplement company as like a media director, and so I went there. Again, same thing, learned a bunch, really enjoyed it, and yeah, and then eventually that kind of led to working with Angela, where everything kind of worked out like perfect timing, and I kind of hopped on there, and so now I'm like my title, I guess, is marketing for Honor, but it's a startup.
Yeah.
So I
That's
do
everything.
You have a lot of titles, but the main one is marketing.
It's becoming marketing now, because like as a startup there's so many different things you have to just do to just to be up and running. Like we have to manufacture the stuff that we produce. Like we have to, like, one of our sealer machines, basically right before we got all of our like powder for our stuff, it just didn't have the right size like fitting, so I had to like 3D design and 3D print a piece to make our sealer work so we could actually sell products. So like
Maintenance,
Yeah.
you call it, and Max does it.
every day it's kind of something different, which I really like. But marketing is technically what I'm gonna be like, now that we're past the very, very start phase, gonna be kind of going more into
But
it.
the working with your hands did come in handy, no pun intended.
Oh, 100%, 100%.
No, it's always handy in life, regardless if you're at a job, at home, wherever. Can you take us to that call where Angela calls Max and says, "Max, I'm starting this company. Come work for me or with me."
Yeah. So the
Because
yeah,
it's a lot of courage to leave a job that's well-paying job to go.
Yeah, I definitely
start
took
up that.
a large pay cut. That's definitely a case. But she actually, yeah, she reached out like right when she was starting development. So basically, correct me kind of if I'm wrong, but it was kind of like 6 months before I kind of hopped on, right? Of like where she's developing the actual product, finding manufacturers, finding a whole bunch of stuff, and like getting the design kind of started. And I would help here and there, just like meet, like, I don't know, like once a month or something, just kind of help with design or whatever, like my specific skill set. And so she would slowly kind of start throwing that idea out here and there of like, hey, what if you kind of start coming here? And my other job, I kind of felt I was reaching a place where there wasn't really anywhere for me to kind of grow. Like I kind of felt like I was doing good. I was doing like really good stuff, but there's nowhere for me to kind of get past where I was. And I kind of was looking for something that's a little more challenging. It's such a weird dynamic. Like when I wasn't in the 9 to 5, I was just like, man, like when I was freelancing, I was like, man, I would kill to just have a consistent paycheck and just have like a good money flowing and just have something solid. And then once you're in that, you're just like, ah, man, it was so nice to be able to choose my own schedule, like work till 3 a.m., but then take a whole day off. And so like every time the other thing looks so much better.
That's interesting.
And it's always like that. And so I was there and I was like, man, I was like, I kind of want like a challenge. I want something new. And like, that's literally right when she was launching. And at the current job too is kind of, it was at a place where there wasn't, like it was a good time for me to leave, kind of in a sense. Like there wasn't any huge projects that were like lined up or anything that was like really like hinging on me. And I was like, wow, okay, I have this opportunity. I really would want to kind of try it. I feel like there's a lot for me to be able to learn. And that's one thing that I absolutely love. Like I love learning. Like I hate I hate being like that. I kind of started feeling that almost the similar feeling of that one job that I hated, where it's like I'm not
the
doing
welding
anything.
job.
Yeah, and so it's like that feeling. As soon as I start feeling that feeling, I try to run from that.
It's
as
when
fast as
you're
I
in the
can.
comfort zone for too long.
Yeah.
It's becoming like a burden. You don't like it.
Yeah. And
So going back to Angela, so you wrote the book about overcoming hardships,
Yeah.
and you found some courage to start a new challenge for yourself. Let's go back to the moment
Where we decided to the company?
when you decided to launch Honor, build your first product, and why is it colostrum? Can you tell us about that?
Yeah. So, okay, at that point, then I had my third kid. And then I was just a mom for a few years. Not just a mom. I was a mom, which I actually think motherhood prepared me for businessship. But specifically as a woman and a mom, to step into a business, it's hard. And a Slavic woman. I mean, you don't see very many Slavic women do what I'm doing. And there's a lot of, back and forth. Are you good enough at mom? Are you a good wife? Are you going to neglect your family? Are you going to do this? You're going to do this. So all these voices. But how it started was I have a cow, like an actual cow.
Like an actual cow, like a cow.
I have a Jersey cow.
Oh my God.
Her name is Layla. She's super sweet. Once I gave birth to my third kid, my boy, so I have 2 girls and a boy, I wanted to have raw milk, and raw milk is super expensive. And so I talked to my husband, and I was like, babe, we should get a cow. And he's like, we do not need a cow.
it's
But
more
one thing-
expensive than raw milk. Building a whole shop.
I know, I was like, it's expensive. He's like, really? But anyways, talked him into it. We got a whole cow share. I have a whole group of women who we take turns milking her. We take turns taking care of her. We take turns cutting all of her costs.
A cow share.
Literally a cow share.
Sure, wow.
So we figured out a system. Okay, and mind you, like, I think I love people. I love working with people, and that's like naturally what I'm good at. So I thought it through. My husband's very logical, so like it logically made sense. We got this cow. She's giving birth, and she's gonna have colostrum. And I'm like, man, I want to keep this colostrum for me and my family. I'm like, is there a way that I could preserve it longer than just a week? And that's when I started doing some research about how do you still preserve all the bioavailability, but have the product last you longer than just in liquid form. And so that's how I found out about freeze drying. And then I found out about other companies that are doing it. And then I'm like, dude, these companies are incredible. And then I was like, wait, what if I can find this? So then I found a vendor. And then I remember like literally talking to someone and being like, you should do this. Like, this makes sense. And then they asked me, then why don't you do it? And I was like, why don't I do it? And so that's when it started. Like, that's when it clicked in
So
me.
you suggested to someone.
I suggested it to
do
somebody else. I was like,
And
colostrum is a thing. It's projected to do well through 2027. 2035. So in the next like 10 years, it's actually projected to do better in sales and everything else. I'm like, this makes sense. And I think for me, what helped is I had this good idea, which I think a lot of people have, and then they don't know what to do next. So my next step after that was talk about it. I just started talking about it a lot. I was like, hey, tell me why this is a bad idea. Talk me out of this. I mean, mostly my family. I talked to a few business people. I talked to friends. I talked to just the more I talked about it, the less crazy it sounded. And mostly my husband. My husband, if you guys meet him, this guy's a genius. He's literally the smartest guy I know in the world. And so the more he asked me, as soon as he got to the place where he's like, I think this is a good idea, I was like, wait, what? This is a good idea. This has to be a good idea if David thinks it's a good idea. And so, and then with the tallow product, with colostrum, tallow is really trendy right now too.
Yeah.
And colostrum has a lot of healing properties to the skin. It has a lot of growth factors to the hair. So like my lashes, my eyebrows, like all these things that girls are into, they've been growing so well. I'm like, okay, this makes sense. And I have the same target audience for these 2 products. So people who are very health conscious are likely to purchase colostrum, and they're likely to purchase tallow. And I'm like, I don't want to do just one product, because what if something happens? What if it doesn't work out? And so that was when I was like, okay, I think I could do these 2 products. We can invest everything we have, and we can make this happen.
So the idea to go 2 products was from the beginning.
I think like probably like 1 month in, it was like the idea that stuck. There was a lot of other suggestions, like, oh, you should do this, and you should do this. But specifically these 2 were the only 2 that like made sense. There was a few bad ideas, and then when you talk through, you're like, oh, this is a bad idea. Good, I'm glad I talked it through.
So you got your blessing from your husband. He said it's a good idea, and you're like, yes, I got an approval. I'm gonna go do it. Did you work on some sort of a plan, a budget, anything like that?
Okay, well, we talked to one guy, Tommy, actually. He started a supplement company, and he started sharing his, experiences with it. And he was so open with us, which was so helpful. He was talking about areas that he failed in, and he told me, he was like, expect to spend a lot more than you think you're going to spend. And of course, I'm like, yeah, that's true for him, but maybe it's not true for me. No,
Maybe
it's
I'll
true
do
for
everything
me.
perfect.
It's so true
It's
for
true
me.
for everybody.
It's true.
It's-
I was hoping we'd be 100K total. We're currently at 120K that we've invested, my husband's and my personal money, into this company. And so it's hard when you're not playing with investors' money or other people's money. This is like hard earned.
It's very hard.
Oh, it's
very
hard.
hard.
But my husband, he's like, I think the biggest reason why he's such a key factor is like sometimes I'm like, babes, this is so hard. And he's like, hey, like, don't start living in fear now. He's like, we're this far in, like, this is not the time to cheap out. This is not the time to back out.
Don't
Like,
quit.
he's like, keep going. Let's
So
have
he
faith.
has another 100,000 prepared for you.
We do have another sum prepared.
At what point did you have your first prototype? Did you ever have like different ideas around maybe you won't choose colostrum, or like was it always colostrum from the beginning? Like, take us back to those moments.
No, I think it was always colostrum. It just made sense. It's a really good product. I know that there is a huge crunchy mom community that are all into it. Actually, one thing that did help me too, like solidify it, I went to a spa night, like it was a sauna night, and there was like 15 girls. And I was like, okay, I'm going to just like tell them that I'm thinking about this company. Like maybe they've heard about colostrum. And so I was like, hey, like, I don't know if you guys have heard about it, but like I'm considering doing colostrum. And literally the whole room, the girls are like, oh my gosh, I'm on this one and I've done this one and I've tried this one. And then every single girl in that room was either using colostrum or knew about colostrum. And I was like, oh my goodness, this is awesome. A lot of the marketing and like research of why it's important has already been done for me. And there's really only a few companies out there right now that offer this product. So I think that was like another clicking moment. It stuck. I was like, I'm going to stay in my lane. My goal was to have 1 or 2 products. I didn't want to do 50 different things and then like spread myself super thin. My hope was like, okay, I'm going to really focus on this. I'm going to understand my audience. I'm going to target. I'm going to figure this out. So that's kind of where we...
It sounds like it wasn't an idea of, hey, I want to make money. How do I make money? I'm going to start a supplement business. No, it was, there is a need. I'm actually interested in the product. And that's how I believe startups and companies should start, is personal experience, personal need, and delivering a product from there. So it became colostrum. Okay, it's a supplement company. Well, I'm starting a supplement company.
Yeah.
That's how it should be, and I believe that's the way for success. But if some people they ask me, man, what should I do? I want to start this business. I want to start making money because I'm tired of 9 to 5. Well, he doesn't even have an idea, or he's looking for an opportunity where it doesn't relate to him and his personal life. Talk about the product and the quality. Why? Obviously, you're biased, but it sounds like you've went above average on you went really high quality. It looks like the packaging is really high quality. You're not cutting corners on that on the branding side.
Yeah, we're definitely not cutting corners. The product itself, so the powder wise, I was really picky with what I wanted. Obviously, I have a cow. I am a very holistic mom. I have 3 little kids. I know and I value like clean products. I think especially in our culture right now where everything is so toxic. For me, that's such a deep core value. My home is toxic free. Like everything, like I live this product in a sense, you know? And so I think I tried over 15 different vendors. I was looking for quality. I wanted to make sure the powder itself is USA source, FDA approved. Milk obviously you don't want to cut corners there. There was a few China brands. I was like, heck no, I'm not even going to think about that. This has to be like I'm giving this to my children. I give it personally to my children every single day. I want to have a product that I stand behind that I know is safe to consume.
When you say FDA approved, what exactly?
So the farm that I purchased my powder through is FDA certified. So they have a lot of like regulations that they have so that the milk quality is free of bacteria.
It's not necessarily good.
Well, it is when you're purchasing milk.
Because
you want to
based on the regulations, you have to do a lot of antibiotics and all this stuff?
They do a lot of so I have third-party testing too, which is like bacteria, heavy metals, all these other stuff that they could be adding into powder. So it's obviously something that, you have to be mindful when you're ingesting.
When you're doing the third-party testing, how often or at what cadence do they do the testing?
I think it's just every batch.
Every batch.
Actually,
Every
yeah.
single batch gets tested.
For metals, to release the product to the customers, they
Yeah.
have to do it.
Yeah, and then the packaging wise, that was just a God thing. I was researching so long for like, how do I find the right packaging? How do I do this? And we randomly came across this company in China that does our packaging for us. And I literally, this is probably not great to admit, but I just bought like 2,000 of the product without getting any samples, without anything, hoping that it's going to work. And it did. It came in amazing. So I kind of just took a step there, and we got lucky with
So
the
the
packaging.
packaging comes separate,
Yes.
and then you fill it,
Yeah,
or your manufacturer fills it.
So our manufacturer is going to be filling it, which is another one of the big things for me. Is I'm like, how do I scale this? So great, I have this company. I can't so the tallow, for instance, I can't just have some Svetlana in her garage making this tallow and adding the colostrum. What if it gets moldy? What if something happens? What if it's not right? And I can't really scale that. What if all of a sudden I have 5,000 orders? I'm not going to be able to meet those kind of demands. And so we're at a place now where the powder, so basically I have 4 different vendors. I have one vendor that does my tallow cream. I have one vendor that is doing one does my jars. I have another vendor that does my packaging, so just the paper tubs and the actual mailers. And then I have one company that does my powder, and they're also filling the powder. So our next batch we're going to be sending from China to there, then they fill it, then they bring it to me. So there's just a lot of like moving pieces to get everyone together, but that's currently where we're at. But the cool thing is it's scalable.
Yeah, right now that's another balance too. Is like we're saving money, especially as the start. Like you have to treat every dollar like it's your last dollar, because we don't want to just spend a ton of money. So like having it done ourselves, that does save quite a bit of money. And so it's like a balance of like, okay, when do we do it just fully, have someone else do it, and then we just kind of have already fully product done with us, versus like where could we save money by doing it ourselves? And so that's kind of like I think right now we're right at that tipping point, I think.
Yeah.
Of like having that.
And specifically with powders, I like paper versus plastic, because the microplastics in a plastic container, they're gonna be there, regardless
That's
of the quality.
Yeah, we're plastic free now, and so we have like metal spoons too, so they're not sitting in there with like a plastic spoon. That's
Yeah. So as of right now, you actually
We have a metal
package and you drop that
metal spoon.
metal spoon, you seal it, and you send it to the customer. And for how long you've been around? For half a year?
So, no, we launched our
officially launched.
we launched the colostrum in end of May.
Okay.
So this is our 4th month. But we launched our tallow only last month. So we're pretty new with the tallow.
Okay.
The tallow's been so much easier to sell because it's an instant thing. People put it on their skin, their skin's glowing. They have a sunburn, it's gone the next day. It's such an easy sell. People are like, this is amazing. So it's cool.
So potentially your tallow could overcome
I
and
think
become the
so.
hero product.
Yeah.
Well, supplements in general, it's a long-term thing, right? You need to take it for 30 days. You need to take it for 2 months. Some people are not consistent. They're like, I didn't notice a difference. Well, yeah, you only took it once in the last month, And so it's a lot harder to sell and it's a perceived feeling. I feel better. What is better? What is better to you? Your gut feels better. My gut feels better. That gut feels better. What does that mean? So it is a lot harder to sell colostrum as like for a person, as opposed to the tallow, I think, in my opinion, so far.
Yeah.
I think it's a lot easier to sell the outcome, because with a supplement that you take, you ingest, it's like everybody's feeling is subjective, but the tallow is so immediate for that reason.
Yeah.
I'm curious, why did you choose colostrum first as the product and then tallow, not the opposite?
I think because the colostrum was imminent, like my cow was giving birth, and it was like the first thing that came to mind. And then the tallow, I was like, wait, this kind of makes sense. It just made sense. Like I was like, why don't I add colostrum to the tallow? Like this just makes sense.
So your tallow has colostrum in it.
It
Yeah, the
does.
same exact
Okay.
colostrum that is in the colostrum is in the tallow as
Interesting.
well.
And what does that do? How is that different than your average tallow?
This is like actually at the time of like coming up with it, when Angel was actually doing it, I think there was no other tallow with colostrum on the market. I think now there's like one or two.
Yeah, it was
But
first of its
the
kind.
cool thing, so this is where I get excited, is the fact that it does two things. So the tallow is more just like on your skin. That's what helps with everything that's like drying on top of your skin. But the colostrum, once you add water and actually put it in, it actually permeates the skin membrane, and so it could actually heal your skin. So for me, I don't moisturize every day. I'm just like a normal guy. I'm not doing that. But for sunburns, this stuff works. Actually, it's crazy how well it works. Like from the night that you put it on, the next morning, like you won't feel anything to the touch. Your skin color will be already like kind of more adopted to like a tan instead of a burn. Like that's what sold me, is like once I got burnt a few times, I tried this stuff. I was like, wow, this stuff, like I'm more than happy to sell people on it because I know how well it works for that. And so obviously if you're applying it every day.
Is that angle something you guys are running with on the marketing and advertising channels?
We haven't went like fully in on that yet, but yeah, that's definitely one of the angles. I think in general it's not just specifically for burns. It does work well for burns, but in general, it regenerates your skin's health a bunch, and so
Well, skin is the biggest organ.
yeah.
And whatever you put on the screen, it just absorbs, eats it, and takes
And
over.
eczema,
all the
dry
minerals.
skin.
Yeah.
So it helps with eczema.
It does. I've had a lot of people respond that it does really, really well, especially our unscented one. The lavender one, obviously some people, especially with eczema, their skin's so sensitive. I would probably recommend just doing the unscented. Personally, I like the lavender more. I think it's, so the unscented, if you're not familiar with tallow, it smells like tallow. Totally great. We have the Sue of the tallow, which is the highest quality of tallow that you can get. It's basically the cut. Some tallows just use all kind of fat. It's just a different cut. It's like the one that's next to the kidney. And then we have everything else is organic. All of our ingredients, it's only 5 ingredients, which again, for me is really important. All of them are really clean. All of them are really high quality. But yeah, it's been really cool.
Let's go back to the numbers. So in 4 months, how much product have you sold? How many units have you sold?
So we've sold,
Including everything that you gave away.
yeah, I think so. We've sold close to 1,500
Okay.
units within these last 4 months. And then our gross has been about 40,000 each month. And we've invested about 120K.
40,000 each month. So you did
Sorry,
160.
40 months total. I wish that was
40,000.
true.
40,000
40,000 total.
For the last 4 months, since the
Yes.
colostrum was launched.
Yeah.
Average unit price is what?
We are selling our colostrum at 65 and then our tallow at 44. And so our profit margin, the percentages, it's kind of hard. Obviously, you guys know that with e-marketing because you do sales, you do affiliates, you do. So our lowest tiers are affiliates, and it's about 50%. But our highest tier is if someone just comes to our website and just purchases, which is at 86% profit margin. So the profit margin's there, but it's kind of wide.
It also depends on life of the customer too, because we have subscription models too.
Yeah. And our
which is-
subscription's at 77%, which
Yeah.
right now is 50% of our clients are at
which is
subscription.
sweet because like I knew right away that we have to have a subscription model, but I was shocked like how I was surprised how many people just like right away just opted
Because
for that.
women, they're loyal and they are willing to give more than 2-3 months to actually see the results.
Yeah,
and
the
you have
women.
to really push your advertisement hard on that. Say, hey, you see results within 90 days. You know, really push that for that 90 days. Because once they stay on for 3 months or longer, very likely they will be your lifetime customer.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great. That's a very good product for that category.
Yeah.
A lifestyle product. So it's not necessarily a sports product. It's not, only in the summer type of a product. No, it's a year-round product that you just have to take.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah, with the advertising aspect, I think it'd be very interesting how we're now approaching winter, and in every season that you're in, just think about how can this apply to a problem that people will have in that given season. So what comes to mind is like skiing, snowboarding, you'll get sunburn, right? When the sun is reflecting off of the snow, and having affiliates, having TikTok shop affiliates, like making videos like that, that are very prescriptive to the issues that you know people are going to have, it's just going to open up a lot of distribution, I think, to the product. Because I've heard of tallow, I've heard of colostrum, I've never heard, literally right in the middle of our conversation, both of them combined, and I'm, man, that's genius, that's brilliant. You guys have something here. So,
But with supplements, there's obviously seasons, so very likely that your sales will dip in the winter and will regain again in the spring. But we'll see. You never know.
Yeah.
Like,
I think that's another cool thing too about like what made me really excited about this is we're not just a supplement company. We also technically are a beauty company too.
Yes,
And so it's not like you kind of were able to test two different markets almost of like, hey, this is technically the tallow. Yeah, it's like you're not ingesting it. Like that's a more of a beauty and kind of like that kind of angle. And people that care about that versus the colostrum, obviously people, they probably care about how they look too, but they care more about how their actual body health is. And so it's kind of, that's one thing that really excited me too. Is like, okay, sweet. We're not doing just one product, but we're also not doing 20 products. Like I knew right away, I was like, there's no way I want to do like a lot of products. Like you're not, by the time you figure out your product, like that's going to take a little while. But if you have 10 of them, you're never going to figure out any one of the 10. You never give them an actual shot to like to live. And so,
and even with the companies that have 20, 30 products, they still have the top 5.
That they, exactly.
Put 80% of resources behind. So obviously you have higher chance of success when you have 1 or 2 products, or one and the other one is supplements. The first one, like
once these blow up like crazy, then we'll
then
start branching out.
Exactly. So okay, let's talk about marketing. Currently, you are mostly driving all the sales, correct, from your personal account?
No, so this is where I would love to get some insight from you guys, because I do think we just have a lot to learn. I think there's the hardest part, Max and I were saying this, like we're willing to do it. What is it? What is it that we have to do to help the business?
Okay.
And so right now we're on Amazon.
Okay.
We're on Instagram. We're on Facebook. Facebook. Then we have TikTok, which our TikTok is doing horribly. We are just like in TikTok jail. We have made like 5 sales in TikTok. It's so hard. We're reaching out to people, giving away product. It is just struggle. But our main sales right now has been through, I think, just honestly, the Slavic woman through my Instagram. Like the ladies have come in hot. They have been amazing, and they've been supporting, and word of mouth through like the Slavic community. That is probably the only way we've been able to like stay afloat so far. But we obviously need to branch past that. So like, great, I've got my circle of friends, I got their friends. Now what? And I don't know what the answer to that is.
When you say we're on Amazon, it means you have a listing up on Amazon, right?
Yeah, so we
But
haven't.
you're not really spending actively.
We just started.
So our strategy was this. First, we wanted to optimize our listing, optimize everything else before we started throwing money into it. And so we've had like amazing people who've come on board and helped us optimize our listing. Now we're like, okay, we're ready to start throwing money into there. But I'm like, how do you even hire the right people? How do you find the right people to do ads? How do you do all of that? It's a lot.
Yeah. So tell us before we dive in deeper, what's the structure of the team? What's your head count? Is it just you guys?
No.
Like, what does that look like?
So,
one more.
sad story. We had 2 guys that were helping oversee both the Meta and the Amazon, but both of them were exceptionally good at what they do, but they also had other jobs that they were doing. And so just last week, both of them quit.
Okay.
So now we hired a company actually through the Philippines that are like educated through some of Amazon. I'm actually interviewing them tomorrow. And we're going to hire on 2 more people to help just run the ads and run that type of the platform. So that's those 2. Then we have obviously me and Max. We have Sasha. She helps with books. She's also like wears 5 million hats. She helps me fulfill all the orders. She helps me kind of do everything. And then we have, who else? That's it, yeah?
That's it.
So basically you have a head count of 3. You have you 2, you have Sasha,
Yes.
who helps with fulfillment, just Swiss Army knife. And then, if I'm understanding correctly, in the Philippines, you've hired an agency, basically a marketing agency.
Yes.
Like a they're virtual assistants almost.
Virtual assistant.
Yeah,
Okay.
so they're not a marketing agency per se. They're actually going to be fully kind of hopping on with us, and
Okay.
yeah, and so we're
But they have experience with
Yeah,
with
yeah.
running and pushing, and so it's not an affiliate model then, right? Like these are going to be people that you're paying, and then you're going to be funding your own ad accounts.
Yes.
yeah. They're
Okay.
they're not affiliates.
Understood.
What's the operational expense total?
So we're about
Yeah.
8,000 a month total.
8,000 is the cost to run the company
Yes.
monthly.
Yes.
Even if you make 0 sales, you have to put in 8,000 just to cover the costs.
Yeah. Actually, now that those two guys left, like 6,000. Yeah. So we actually went down. We're about 6 to 7,000.
Tomorrow it might go back.
That's 28%.
We just made.
Well, actually 25% improvement.
Yeah.
Congrats.
I guess there's a pro in there somewhere.
Okay.
So that's like the cool thing too is that because it's a startup, like we had a lot of obviously upfront costs. Obviously, every time we get more powder, get more tallow, it's big kind of like bulk costs for that. But our running cost isn't huge right now, and so we're able to actually cover our overhead every month so far, which has been
Yeah.
like crazy. Because like obviously I know like some people that have started businesses and all that, and they just say like, yeah, expect to not break even for like years basically. And so like I think the support that we've had just within
It
like
really
the
depends
local
on
reach.
how fast you want to grow and how much you want to spend. If you start
That's true too.
spending $25,000 a month right now in marketing, you're not going to break even.
Yeah. Yeah.
But if I'm a one-man show and I'm selling
Yeah.
5 tallows a month,
Yeah.
I can be making money. I am profitable. And you
Yes.
go around, I'm profitable.
What is the balance, I guess,
Yeah,
with your guys' experience on like how hard do you push on what?
So, okay, I'll be super straight,
Yeah.
open, transparent with you guys on what I think is worth doing and maybe you should do. So let's go back to the raising money, finding investors. The bad news, well, I'll give you, there's good news as well. The bad news, you're probably not going to find investors at this point because your chances of success are fairly slim and the risk factor for the investor is very high. So when investors want to come in, when there's a proven model that's growing and the CEO or the leadership is looking for money for inventory, or they basically crack the code and they're looking to scale. There is FFF, what it means, friends, fools, and family. It's a viable, legit way to raise money, which a ton of people do. And yes, it's also risky. And all of these people are not professional investors. And they get very unhappy when you fail and you lose their money. And they expect you to be a millionaire, and they will be millionaires. So it's a tough one, but it's really the only option to raise money right now. Let's say you've been bootstrapping. Bootstrapping means running with your own money. You've been bootstrapping for a while, and you found this grocery store, a chain, a natural store that is willing to take on your product. And then you come to a potential angel investor that will say, you know what, I'll do it. Still, it's a risk. Still, there's a lot unknown, but it's a calculated risk. So that's your best bet. I actually, going back to growing this company, I think what you're doing is exactly what I would be doing. You're utilizing your personal accounts, personal social accounts to grow awareness and slowly and trying to find that niche. Because I'll be blunt, if you go right now to Amazon, if I give you 50,000, 99% chance you're gonna just burn them. And you're not gonna get that rank up. We, right now at Snap, we spent to get a new ASIN up there just to get those initial 30, 40 reviews and to get it to the first page, we spent over 100,000. And a lot of times we still fail, even though we have the right recipe, the right product. Seems like the niche is there. We have a quality PPC guy that actually knows what he's doing. It's still very hard, and the reason why it does work on Amazon, growing on Amazon, same with TikTok, is you have to have that additional channel, which is probably going to be Meta. That will help boost the algorithm and the ranking to improve the ranking. And still, like we spent hundreds of thousands of dollars before we get into top 5 for a specific keyword. That is not a very hard keyword.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about let's say,
Multivitamin.
yeah, multivitamin. We
Yeah.
don't even touch that. Like even
Yeah.
magnesium.
Yeah.
I remember when we had an agency spending a couple $100,000 on Meta, and we saw a spike in our ranking, and we did get to the first page, but the bottom of the first page. So we really didn't see results. The spend went down, the ranking went down, so it was a test. We pretty much blew a bunch of money. But there are cases, there are companies that are growing fast thanks to specific channels, and some of them are like TikTok. And TikTok is amazing, but it's really hard. It's really hard. You have to spend so much money getting into it. Like another good example is ballerina farms. You've seen their protein.
Yeah.
It's really doing well. I think they're doing about 2 million in sales with their one SKU, which is the protein powder. And what I like about that story is the approach that they did. If you look up ballerina farms and look up the stories and see how they started, it all started, and it's kind of similar to yours. And what I really want you guys to do is try to replicate and kind of go back to why you started Colostrum, how you started, what was the need, and kind of tell your story a little bit better with visuals, with the video, with content, and just build up. But the fact that you're giving away a lot of product, which you do, right?
Yeah.
You are giving away a lot of product. You have to do that, and it's much cheaper cost acquisition channel than any of the ones I talked about. Amazon, TikTok, and so on. Meta, same thing. You will have to spend a lot of money to be able to learn the mistakes and optimize your page, because the cost, I really like the cost, the $65. It's up there. It's not a $20, $30 product. So you do have a chance to actually succeed at it. If I'd have $200,000 right now, I would probably build a landing page. I would find a guy, not $1,000 guy, but a better guy that can help you build a landing page with a bundle, not one product. You're trying to sell them a 2-month supply, 3-month supply. And max, you know, you know the bundle.
Yeah.
High AOV, because you have to understand your cost per acquisition is not going to be $50. It'll be probably $70 to $100. So if you have the retention, which sounds like you do, on the subscriptions, then you'll be able to succeed. It's a big investment, it's a big chunk, but it's the best risk for the money. I think it's the best odds of succeeding is if you have 200,000, let's say 100, ideally 200, you can work with an agency and they can actually give you some contacts. Build a landing page and make sure it's bundles. You sell bundles. You're not selling one product. You're gonna have 3 options. One is one unit that's very expensive. Let's say it's $69.99. Then you're gonna have a bundle of 2 and a bundle of 3, and the bundle of 2 is gonna be the best option for a consumer. It's just the best price. It's the best deal. It's the best deal. It's the one in the middle that they have to choose. And having the margins that you're having, selling 2 for about $110, $120, 120, somewhere in that range, because you sell it for 69, 140, 120 sounds like that good price. You are able, you can afford to spend $100 for acquisition. You're gonna break even or lose a little bit of money, but month 2, month 3, you're gonna start recouping, and then obviously you'll need retention strategies. You need to make sure that you stay long enough. You need customer support.
Just so I'm getting you correct, you're saying if right now, from your judgment, is to go in on Meta, go in hard on that, and build a landing page out for that, on our website that kind of leads from Meta to that. That's like
exactly.
That'd be the biggest.
And
one.
not do. And what about?
Yeah,
because it's like everything.
Everyone has
all
a
of them are
billion
fires,
opinions,
right?
yeah.
Everyone's like, you need to put money in here, and you need
I
to put
do
money
not
there.
recommend TikTok yet.
Okay.
Even though you can try, but you don't have capacity, you don't have resources, human resources, to try a few channels. I think with your price point, with the quality, with your story, and you really need to share that story on that landing page. So all you need is like be persuasive. You sell to women, they need to feel you. They need to feel that, wow, this is amazing. It's a founder's story, a picture of you. It could be a picture of you by your Layla, by Layla, I don't know, somewhere in a farm-looking type of a... there's video, there's a lot of reviews, there's pictures of women that, and it's someone who sees the product and they need to be convinced. They need to commit to $100+, which is tough right now with our economy.
Yeah.
But they need to believe you. They need to believe that landing page. They need to believe in that product. And then once they try it and then they stick around, you'll be able to really, really scale up.
I have like 1.5 million ideas. What I would say is if you're willing to give up a little bit of control, you can take the affiliate route where it's not your own money. Create an affiliate program where you'll let somebody make the landing page for you. They'll make the ads and they're only paid on a conversion. Now they'll take a piece of the upside, right? But there's no risk to you. You don't have to pay, or there's no monetary risk, I would say, right? Like if you open it up to a bad affiliate, you don't exactly know what they're running. You don't exactly know what they're doing or saying to drive the conversion. So there is risk. But if you work with somebody who's reputable, it's a channel, it's a mechanism to grow without having to spend a lot of money today. And I think the most important thing, understand like what are the pockets of people and what are the reasons that those people are buying. So I forget the exact name. I see it all the time. The other colostrum competitor, Armora. So I'm not joking you. Like if I pull up my phone, every other ad I get is them. I don't know why they're targeting me. It's been like in the last month. Maybe they know because we're going to talk. I don't know what it is. But it's so interesting because I work in advertising. I make ads and, for a number of different products, a number of different services. And I'm hyper aware of the things that catch my attention. And I buy through ads often, right? Like I work in advertising. So I'm like, I want to see what this is, what this feels like. And I want to experience it for myself. And like, I have basically a library of all the things that I bought, whether it's these Mott & Bow jeans that I'm wearing right now, or whether it's AG1 in my cabinet at home. You guys have a really huge advantage, which is that you're not just some drop shipping bro in Miami who's like trying to make a buck by getting some cheap product from China and then just reselling with pretty branding. Like you have a real story. You have your story. And I don't know how comfortable you are leaning into that, but ultimately like people buy from people. And if you are able to take your story and present it to people in a way that they can digest it, consume it, and feel that they're becoming a part of your story by buying your product, it's no longer just a product, it's a cult. And I think, and you have that now with like your entire customer base, right?
Yeah,
like
that's true.
I haven't tried your product, I'm sure it's good, but I don't think the majority of your sales have come from people who believe the product is superior. I'm sure it's a good product. That understand what I'm saying, right?
It is good, I tried.
But great. But they're buying it because of you.
Yeah.
It's true.
And so I want you to think about, don't productize the colostrum. Don't productize the colostrum and the tallow together. Productize you. You are the product.
Oh gosh.
That is just, and,
Well,
and-
you are the face of the product, and
Yeah.
when people say that, they actually mean it. Like you
Yeah.
have to be there. Your face, you sell your face with the product. Like they see, I'm buying from Angela. I'm not buying from some big,
Yeah.
company.
True.
So if I buy Armora, for example, right? And this is a long-winded thought that I'm just going to verbally process with you guys, right? I've seen them hit me with, it's going to improve my gut, it's going to improve my skin, it's the best multivitamin. They've hit me with at least 10 to 12 different angles. And I think right now they're kind of in an experimentation mode. They've opened it up to so many creators that they're just trying to find what angles are working right now because they don't know. And you may think you know, but you don't, right? Everybody thinks they know what's going to work with the ads. At the end of the day, the market is going to tell you what works. Not you.
true.
It's not what you think. It's what you decide to run on Meta. It's what you run on Google or YouTube or search or whatever. Like that ultimately is the result that is true.
You have to give the best shot. You have to deliver the best ads. You have to have the best landing page. So
Yes.
the
Yes.
question is, which channel do we go after? These old channels are viable, by the way.
Yeah.
Like, including
Yeah.
TikTok, it's viable. You can crack it.
Yeah.
And Ballerina cracked it. We just don't know how much money it costed them.
That's true.
Some people were early enough and they're on top in TikTok. But right now, there's so many people trying, spending hundreds of thousands of dollars. And we know because my partners are in the chats with a lot of these guys that are launching new companies and are failing because they succeeded once. They think they know the formula. They go back, they launch a new company.
The
$200,000-$300,000 later, they're like, okay, it's not working. We just can't. So, but every channel is viable, but you're limited on resources, you're limited on money, and you need to give it at the best shot possible.
I agree. But so on that topic, like most likely Meta is your best shot. Like you're not going to win an Amazon, I don't think. With Amazon, I think it's important to be there because like what people will do is they'll see the product and then they'll Google it. They'll look it up on Amazon. And then like Amazon just becomes like this, this catch-all safety net to get conversions, right? If people don't buy directly from you. But going back to the branding piece, and we'll come back to channels, you already have a brand outside of Honor. And what I mean by that is like you've already gone viral. You have. And when I think of Honor, I'm telling you, like my own experience, right? Maybe about 2 months ago, I see one of your posts. I'm like, oh, that's interesting. Like, it seems like a smaller colostrum company. I had no idea who was behind it. Didn't realize it was local. I saw it by Honor, right, on Instagram. And then I see it on my sister-in-law's counter. I'm like, Olga, where'd you get this? She's like, oh, like, da. She's explaining it to me. I'm like, huh. And then like a couple weeks later, Vlad's like, oh yeah, we're going to have by Honor on their show. I'm like, oh my God, that's amazing. I go to Missouri. I was just there like a week and a half ago. On her countertop, my other sister-in-law, she has colostrum right on her countertop. And like, to me, people who I've been talking to, because I've been telling people like, hey, today we're going to do the episode with Angela and Max. And they're like, oh my God, like that's so crazy. Her story's amazing.
Yeah.
Your brand is like, your brand was what happened during COVID. And if you're able to lead with that, people will buy from you for the simple fact that they like you and they want to love on you. That's enough, or that's an advantage that very few other companies have.
Yeah.
Not a lot of
I
other people.
know no story.
Thankfully.
Yeah, well, good. Yeah, and it's terrible that it happened, but something bad is turning
Yeah.
into something good.
Yeah,
and I'm
for
saying that's probably your biggest advantage right now. Like even outside of the quality of your product, because you have a story worth sharing, and it's about like people buying the product. They're buying into a story that's bigger than the product and bigger than themselves. And when you're able to tell a story like that, again, I said it before, they're not buying a product, they're joining a cult. And that's where like when you have a cultish type of following, that's really, I think, going to improve your chances of success.
It's a good foundation, but really hard to scale up. Like, it's good enough unless it becomes viral and the referral and you can also create on a referral system that you can implement, and for
That's a good
every
idea.
referral, you somehow incentivize people just to refer. They will do it anyway, but you kind of turn them into evangelists, and they need to go and
Welcome to the cult. You know?
yeah, but it works. The problem is there's so many products out there.
Yeah.
It's not working like it was 10 years ago, 20 years ago.
The most difficult aspect of all of this is the ad itself, right? Like if the ad is good that's made, that whatever channel you're running it on, it doesn't matter if you're running it on Snapchat or TikTok or Meta or YouTube. Like if the ad is good, then you will make money.
But
It's
David,
straight
how
up.
much money do you need to spend to find that ad? That's the
mean-
that's the key
Yeah.
question.
But that's where, like, if you open it up to affiliates, the risk is on the affiliate. It's not on them. You
Well,
don't
our
think an
problem
affiliate
is
works so.
we can't even get affiliates. Affiliates don't even want to join. They're like, "Who are you?"
Yeah.
And so we have an affiliate program. Our affiliates get 30% commission and they get 20% off for their audience. So we're trying to be aggressive. We're trying to offer. I mean, we're losing 50% on each sale with the hope that we're going to get that. And yet still affiliates are like, nah,
That's
we don't know who you are. So what then?
Who are you going to? Like, are you trying?
We have
to
a few. Yeah, we have a few. We do a lot of like local ones, but then we also have a few platforms through Shopify where we can just like reach out to affiliates. And so we're reaching
On
out
Meta,
to
yeah,
like
for, like, Instagram,
100 a
Facebook.
week, and we're getting 1 or 2 responding. Every week we're sending at least 100 invites, sending personal invites, getting every angle. Hey, I like
What
this
about
last video that you
finding
posted.
influencers and turning them into ambassadors. And
We can't find them. That's our problem.
they're out there. They're out there. There's at least, I would say, 3-4 girls within our community that are fairly decent size. There's one girl that is local that has 1.4 million on TikTok, and her following is
What's her
crazy.
name? Actually, I don't know if it's worth it.
yeah, we'll
'Cause
talk off.
there's a chance that I probably reached out to her. That's what I'm saying.
There's
if
a
anyone who's
chance,
local, there's a chance I've
if you
already
reached
tried.
out to the platform, it's probably not gonna work.
Yeah, that's true.
You have to find
network. And
network,
That's true.
find the person that knows her well,
Yes.
go to that person, ask them what will it take for you to make me a connection, to make me a coffee meeting,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah,
And
that's
so-
true. Networking, I think there's definitely power into that. It's just hard. It's hard even to know who to reach out to, you know?
It's just, can you figure out a enticing offer for these girls, an offer they cannot refuse?
That's the thing. We can't offer that a lot. Like we don't have
bootstrapped.
20 grand to throw at an influencer for a chance for them to
Exactly.
do well. You know, like we can't afford that. Like we way rather spend that 20 grand on trying to do a bunch of other stuff small than one person that who knows if it works really, you know? So it's kind of, I guess maybe is that the way to go? Like that's something that's like, I guess kind of like what we talked about earlier. It's like, we're down to do whatever if it's the right thing. What's the right thing? You know, that's like the hardest thing to figure out. It's like, yeah, we just don't have the capital to be able to throw, okay, let's throw 10 grand at this person, 10 grand at this person, 10 grand there and kind of see what happens. It's like, this
And you're
is,
saying we have no investor options.
Yeah.
You're saying there's no chance you're going to get an investor.
If you do find an investor, it's not going to be a good deal for you.
yeah. I think
It's not. It's you don't have sales.
Yeah.
Like the 40,000 is okay. Good try. You've depleted all your personal account, all your followers, all your friends. Bottom, and Christina probably has like 5
Yeah.
jars. I mean, everybody bought. It's kind of
that's awesome.
artificial.
Yeah.
You have to show proof that okay, this product is actually the next big thing.
yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, can you show that proof?
I mean, sales is the only way that it could prove, right?
Another thing is, which will cost you about $5K, is finding a retail salesperson that has connection with brokers that sell into natural grocers, like basically mom and pops health stores.
We have something that we're actually, Angel is kind of,
Yeah, we have just like a small boutique that said that they would like to do retail with us, but it's not like a market. It's not like Chuck's Produce or anything
Not
like
like a
that.
New Seasons or
Yeah, it's
Not
not
yet.
New Seasons.
Not
They are out there.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stores like New Seasons. New Seasons has 10 locations now, 7 locations.
Yeah, it's true.
But it's a big store. It's really
Yeah.
tough to get in. There's a lot more smaller, health-oriented mom and pop stores that can actually. I know a brand that's called Source out of Portland. They sell chocolate It's like a round, like M&M's type of chocolate, but it's not just a regular chocolate. It's a supplement. So they'll sell magnesium in it. They'll sell melatonin chocolates for sleep. So it's like better for you chocolate that helps with specific needs, And they ended up they didn't have any online sales. They started with retail.
Oh, wow.
And it's recent. It's,
That's
the
wild.
company is only, 3-4 years ago they started. And right now their biggest purchaser is Whole Foods. So Whole Foods and guys like Whole Foods, there's so many other ones, they will actually take on a product that is a small niche product that they just like. It's rare, but it happens. And a good salesperson can get you that pitch. And they try a few stores, they try a region, it sells great, and then they go nationwide. And
Didn't
that
really think
option
about
is
brick and mortar.
not expensive because you're gonna have a contract salesperson that has connections, and he's gonna be just pitching your product until someone says, "Okay, I want to try it," and then you sell either directly or so on. And it could get you to maybe a couple million a year in sales through those mom and pops. So it's realistic. I think it's fairly inexpensive, and it's something that you can still do on the side with many other channels that you can explore and actually invest your time in.
So that's the business. Let's go back to the story aspect. Let's talk about where the company is now. When you started this, did you feel like what is it like in your current situation, knowing this went from an idea with a cow to now you have some beautiful products sitting on the table, and you have thousands of women in our community who's like huge supporters and advocates of your brand?
I think, honestly, I don't think I've like got myself to the place to celebrate yet. I'm just kind of like, hey, we're still starting. We're still going. I just keep my head down. I think mostly, even like your guys' podcast, sometimes I'm a little overwhelmed by them because I'm like, man, all these guys are so big. Like, how am I ever going to do that? But then I'm like, it's okay. I'm just going to stay in my lane. I'm just going to do my best. I'm just going to do my best. And so I just keep my head down. And every day I'm like, today we're going to do our best. And that's all we're going to do. And I'm a mom of 3. So there's times where I have all these things I think I'm going to do, but my kids need my attention. And I actually like really prayed through that. And I felt like the Lord was like, hey, if you take care of your family, I'll take care of your business. Amen. And so I was like, okay, I'm going to take care of my kids. My kids are a priority. I take every Friday off because they have Fridays off from school. I take them to school every day. I'm always the one picks them up. I make their lunches. I do everything because I'm like, my biggest fear, and I think this helped me early on, is I identified what is failure to me and what is success. And to me, failure would be having this grand business, but failing as a mom and not showing up for my husband, not being a good friend, not being like struggling my walk with the Lord. Like that to me would be failing. Success is obviously, it'd be great if the business did really good.
So you just need like a medium business that's 200 million a year. As long as your kids are happy, they have their mom.
Something around there. I don't know. I don't have a cap. I'm okay with the business getting as big as it does. But I do think I think success would be obviously have a successful business, but also like me personally as a successful, like I would have success. Some struggles I didn't expect is the personal growth that had happened with me. I had so many fears that I thought I didn't have. And then as the business started, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm going to fail. Everyone's going to know that I failed. I just like put myself out there. How am I going to do this? And I just wasted our family's money. Like, how am I going to do this? And as a wife, like just so much of that weight and like learning how to like, okay, I'm going to bring this before the Lord. God is still pleased with me, even if this business fails. This isn't my only opportunity in life. Like everything's going to be okay. So just like relearning what voices to listen to. It's been a lot, I think, like emotionally to go through, like starting this company.
Yeah, you don't need to think about failure. I think the more you think about failure, the less obviously think about succeeding. So
Such a good
how
point.
about we just succeed? Let's not even go there.
100%.
That's so awesome.
What is it like running a business but still being a mom
And a wife.
and
Yeah.
a wife? Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a different type of challenge, I think, than what men feel. Like, and I don't know, obviously I'm not a man, but like to me, I don't get to clock out and then just clock in once I'm done with my work. I start doing something and then I'm like, oh, I need this. My son needs me here. I need this. And then I get things done as I go. But I think mostly like keeping my kids in mind too. I'm like, this is a blessing for my kids. I want my kids to know that their mom can do hard things. And if I want to teach my girls to do hard things, I would need to do that. And so I talk to my girls a lot about the business. I'm like, hey, right now we're doing our business. I'm like, Mama needs to go do this. They know all about colostrum. They know all about my girls are 6 and 5 and my son is 3. So they're still little. Like I'm still in the littles phase. But I definitely think like, I don't know that I would have been ready because I actually have a lot of moms who will come to me that are like in the thick of motherhood. They have babies and they're like, how do you do it? Like, you're so this and that. I'm like, girl, my kids are 3, 6, and 5. I couldn't have done it when I was little. I had to give all of me. And like, you're not failing as a mom if you're not doing it all. You are doing it all by showing up, by being there for your kids, by investing into them. I'm just in a season now where my girls are in school and I have that capacity. But I think it would have been foolish of me to start something in a capacity when I was already giving. And like my marriage, that's if I had anything to say to any woman, focus on your marriage. Because man, when your marriage is tough, you're never going to succeed as a businesswoman. You might, but at what cost, you know? Mm-hmm. And so I think like having a healthy marriage and making that like a huge priority for me, obviously showing up with my kids, and then just being okay with doing hard things and being like, it's okay, it's hard.
Speaking of the juggling all this, I just had a pretty bad conversation, just sad conversation a couple of days ago with a buddy that I haven't spoken in over a year. And I called him and I said, and the first thing I asked, because I knew they have a child that has some serious health issues. And they're spending a lot of time with doctors and medications and so on. And he tells me we're divorcing. So I'm like, wow. And he, after about 30, 40-minute conversation, we came back, we talked about business, and then he comes back and he says, he basically admits it, that I was working so much, I was investing everything I have, all myself, all my time, I neglected on my family. So that the price I paid to make this business a success, and he got really screwed twice. And as a startup, for him to survive, he had to work extra hard. He had to raise money, had to invest. He neglected, on his family, and he lost it. So it's so important. When you said it, I'm like, thinking of him is like, it's so important. It's not just words to be there, not just, a businesswoman, a mom, and a wife, and all these 3 things. This is why it is a challenge. And for many, many people, it's not even realistic and it's not even possible to be able to, because you talk to any woman with kids, 2, 3 kids, they'll tell you it's tough.
Oh, yeah.
It's so hard.
Yeah.
And then imagine on top of that, putting a business that has so many questions. It's not like, I opened a grocery store, like one of those, Slavic Russian stores. And that business makes sense. It's easy. But this is a startup that honestly has more questions than answers. So kudos to you. Good job.
Yeah, but honestly too, I love that people are like, good job on, the business. But like, dude, good job to every mom that's out there. That's work. Showing up. I get to, like, now I sleep through the night. But man, like, you don't sleep through the night with littles. You don't do that. And that's, I think having that season with being a mom is literally like what helped me to be where. But I wouldn't say this is success. This business is success. I think having a wonderful family and having kids and a husband is just as amazing, to the ladies out there who are like, oh, I wish I had that. I don't know. I think there's a lot more to it too.
One thing that's very interesting is you're the first woman we've ever had on the podcast.
That's true.
And
hopefully not last.
Hopefully not the last. I'm going to be honest. We don't have like a lot in the pipeline.
I do feel pretty lonely.
but I bring that up because I want to ask the question, why do you think so few women, especially in the Slavic community, branch off to do something bold? Like, I would consider what you're doing. You are building a business. There's a lot of women in our community that like they say like they're a business owner, but I would just consider them more self-employed, right? Like they work for themselves. They have some clients that do some kind of service, but like to make a product or service that has more potential growth to it, like something you can actually move yourself out of and the business still runs, that's a business. Why do you think there's so few women in our community that take that step?
I think a lot of women try to do business as a man, and I think you can't do business as a man. I think a woman try to be maybe aggressive, or they want to push, they want their voice to be heard, they feel so silenced. Sometimes I think women have this like feminist, like, I'm gonna do it anyways. And I think with that lack of support,
prove all the men.
yeah, I'm gonna prove him anyways. I'm gonna prove my husband anyways.
Yeah.
He's not for me, but I'm gonna do it anyways. And I think when they're like, I don't consider myself a like boss babe or a woman thing. I couldn't have done it without my husband. I couldn't have done it without Max. I couldn't have done it with all the team that's with me. Like, I'm not this strong, independent woman. Like, I'm very dependent on very many people. And I think
the truth is none of us are.
yeah, that's true.
we just play a role.
Yeah, that's true.
But reality is we go and cry to the pillow at night.
I did shed a few tears, I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, it's true. Like, I think if women could talk to their husbands, like most husbands, they love their wives, hence they married them. And if they were more like, hey, I don't know, I think there has to be like a level of like respect. And obviously my husband and I had a different situation too. We had the financial ability. I think a lot of people don't. Dave has been working his butt off the last like 5 years, selling homes, flipping saunas, doing everything. And he chose to take that risk with me. And he was like, hey, I was going to invest this 120, but I want to invest it into you. And not a lot of women have a husband who would be able to do that. So I do think I'm in a unique situation where I do have that support that many women don't. I don't think there's anything wrong with being a stay-at-home mom. I think that is a calling. I think if you can just know what your calling is, you know what God is leading to. I prayed about this a lot, and I just had the peace of the Lord to step into this. I don't think you're missing the mark if you're, as long as you're thriving with loving being at home, loving serving your husband, loving serving the church. If you love doing business, okay, do that. It's not as black and white, I think, for women.
Have you tried other business before, or this is the first time?
No, I mean, I've ran like the kids ministry at our church, so I had a lot of experience with like people, and obviously my cow share. But no, I've never done anything like this. Not where there's like this kind of financial investment. And we grew up pretty poor, 1 of 10.
Have you thought to do business before,
No.
or did you say, well, I'm gonna have kids, this is my season of my life, but then once they get older, I want to actually get into some sort of a business? You haven't.
I've never wanted to be a businesswoman. I think, but I am like everyone who knows me, like, this makes sense. Like, because of my personality, I do like to I write a book, I'll do this. Like, I say yes. I think I like to say yes.
You like challenges.
I like challenges.
I think what happened, because your question is, why are you so special? Because most women don't start a business being a mom, having kids and all that. And you're asking why she's so special. You are special. But I also want to, in my opinion, I think she just believed in this idea that it's a good idea and I should do it. And she challenged herself to do it.
Yeah.
Because in the beginning, there are people that are always business minded. They always have something going on. They don't like 9 to 5. They hustle, they create this, they go into this, they see opportunity there, they go there. But seems like you're a person that just believed that the idea is good and I'm gonna go and do it. And she didn't even think that, it's almost, I'm not gonna say impossible, but it's a very difficult task.
Max, what is it like working for your older sister? What kind of boss is she?
Honestly, the best boss I've ever had.
That's what you told me last time. Okay.
Well, she wasn't my boss then, so up until then,
I'm wondering if you told this to every boss.
The welding boss is like, wait a second.
Yeah.
You said about
I
me.
definitely never told him that.
Max is
for
always
sure.
happy where he's at. That's the more.
Honestly, because she doesn't, it's not necessarily that she trusts herself or trusts this product so much. It's at the end of the day, she trusts the Lord.
Yeah.
And for me, being able to work with someone that actually genuinely has that trust, I love that. Like Angela's checked up on me, like how I'm actually doing. Like aside from obviously because we're family too, but like regardless of how the business is doing, she cares about me more than what's being done by me. And like that's such a weird shift from like a top-down boss who's just cared about, okay, why isn't this done? Why isn't this done? Why isn't that done? But it's like, no, this is actually a company that cares about me personally. And so I want to do the best that I can, not because I have like a deadline to meet, but because I know that they're investing into me. The best thing I could do is invest myself into that, you know?
So you're probably working extra hard.
Yeah. I mean, you don't really have a choice. I mean, it's kind of like there's stuff that has to be done, and you have to figure out how to do it. Like, yeah, there's so many things where you just literally hit the same brick wall like 12 different times, and you're still getting rejected. Your product isn't being listed, and you looked over everything 100 times. You're changing one small thing about the listing every time until eventually you get through that. Okay, now the next problem. Let's hit that wall
Now
100
we need
times.
reviews.
And so I think, having her as a boss has been so amazing. It's not a 9 to 5 that I just clock in, clock out of, but it's something that, hey, I'm thinking about stuff outside of it. My wife gives me ideas that I'll share with Angela, and then it's like, okay, shoot, that's actually a really good idea. Let's try that avenue. Let's try doing that. And so, it's been fun. Really fun.
Yeah, we just tell each other we can't have bad days on the same day.
Yeah.
Some days I call Max and it's like, oh, today's a hard day. I'm like, you got this, Max. The next day he's calling me. He's like, today's hard. I'm like, you got this. Go back and forth.
If I remember correctly, your second daughter's name is Ava?
Yeah.
And Ava's a very symbolic name, as you mentioned. Breath of life. So if names are symbolic, I'm curious, what's the symbolism behind honor?
Okay, I mean, honestly, this one, so we have our prayer at our church every year. And this was beginning of the year. And I just remember thinking, so everything about this company has just been very prayerful. And I never had the Lord speak audibly, Angela, you should do this business, but I had that peace. And like, I think that's a big factor. And so when I was thinking about the name, we were going through 5 million different names. But we were praying, and I was literally like, Lord, can you just give me a name? And as my eyes were closed, I literally just saw the word honor in that font. Like, just,
Wow.
I felt like
Clear as day.
I just saw that word, and I was like, honor. I'm like, oh my goodness, like, that makes sense. It was literally during prayer. And so I came home, and I was like, babes, what do you think of honor? And he was like, I don't know. I was like, well, he's not a fan. I think I'm going to stick with it. But David's been really cool. We learned how to work as a marriage. At first, we've done a lot of projects together. But he's now like, okay, you do the business side, and I'll just support you emotionally. But yeah, honor came like that. It was really
It's a
cool.
good name.
What would you say to the women in our community who see you as an icon, and both those who guilt themselves for being a stay-at-home mom, but also wanting to be more because we live in a very, masculine culture, but also those women who really do feel like they want to take that step, they want to start a business, but they're afraid, and they're just in a state of fear, and they're not pushing forward. What would your message to both of those groups be?
I think both are equally as painful. It's really painful to be in a place where you're stuck and you feel like you have no way out, and it's also really painful to compare yourself to other people and feel like you're not measuring up. And I think I've been there for a long time, but I think my biggest recommendation to Slavic women, or just women in general, is to be obedient to the season you're in. I think it's really hard to know that, hey, this is the opportunity and this is the time for me to step into something like this, versus I see it all around me, but I just don't feel the pull for that right now, and that's okay. Or am I feeling basically talk to the Lord. That's what I say. Talk to the Lord again and again and again. If it's God that's prompting you to do something, the doors will open up. And just say yes. And if it's your fear, if it's anxiety, if it's comparison, then when you talk to the Lord, he'll show you. He'll be like, hey, actually, this isn't me. You're just trying to match up because you want to be like everyone else. That's not even what I want you to do. Like, are you the version that God has called you to be? I think that's what I would just ask. Like, in my season and what I'm going through, am I the version of who God wants me to be, and how I treat people and how I love people and how I care? And then through that, you will be able to step into faith, whether it be faith as a mom, because I think actually even just this past year, I had so much fear about motherhood. Like, am I doing it wrong? Am I parenting? Am I kind enough? Am I not kind enough? Am I gentle enough? Am I stern enough? Am I disciplined enough? Am I spending enough time? Am I reading too many books? Is it not enough books? And you have all these voices on all these social platforms of like, you're not measuring up ever. And I had so much fear in motherhood. It was awful. And then I literally had to bring it to the Lord and be like, God, I'm operating out of so much fear of like ruining my kids. Can you please just give me guidance and peace? And I felt like the Lord literally, like, I took the time to do that work. And now I love motherhood, which is such a blessing. And like, same thing with the business. Like, in the beginning, I was like, and now I'm like, okay, God, thank you. And he's just like giving me that peace. So it's just that inner work. So I think the mom that hates this or that or is unsatisfied in any area, in your marriage, in any area, like a woman is ustrájает svoj dom. How do you say that? Like she takes care of she takes care of her home. And I think that means like it's a lot on our plate, but I think it's possible to do it with the Lord. I don't know if that was too vague, but that would be my.
What I heard is being obedient in the specific sphere or timeline where you're right now, and just waiting for peace to start something. So if you have that peace, then just do it. If you have too much fear, well, pray for peace.
Exactly.
So if you're not sure, pray for peace and pray for just that easiness, on yourself. That's just okay. I want to do it because it seems like when you started Honor, you were not sure, but then you didn't have fear to do it. Well, thank you guys. Let's do this again in about a year so we can talk about how you
amazing success.
Yeah, because
amazing and resounding success.
Yeah.
it's just the beginning. Like 4 months is literally nothing.
Yeah.
You need at least a year to realize at least channel, which I hope that you can pick your channel and start seeing success within the channel much faster. But as of right now, think of it as a playground where not everything makes sense, but how can I build this? How can I perfect my product? Because you have a really good product, but how can I actually sell that good product?
Yeah.
And you don't have that clarity yet. And honestly, it takes time.
Sweet.
You guys are on the right track for sure.
Thank you guys.
Thank you guys so much for this opportunity.